All right, we're live. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another MLB The Show 16 live stream presented by us, the design team, and other people. Nick's doing woos and stuff. This is our 7th live stream. If you haven't seen any of the first ones, you can go to theshow.com or theshownation.com and you can watch the archives. We've released some videos about the game. We released a video about franchise on, what was that, Monday?
Tuesday.
Yep. On Tuesday. Today's stream is about franchise, and we're going to do a round of the developer tournament.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Developer tourney. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Tournament time.
Want to show them the bracket?
First things first. Let's show them the bracket real
Show them
quick.
the bracket.
Show them the bracket.
Show them the bracket. All three of these guys on the couch are in the quarterfinals. No big deal.
Bracket is coming.
One thing to note, though. Last year's champion.
Not in the tournament.
Not in the tournament.
He opted out.
We kicked Kirby out.
He retired on top.
So I know you guys are seeing, hey, you've played some games. Because we didn't want to play like a million games on the stream, we played like the first round. So as you see, most of us are still in it.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so let's bring up the rules. So every live stream we do, we have a sweepstakes at 2:50 p.m. We give away 10 items. 2 of those items are digital deluxe editions of the game. Those cost $99.99.
Yeah.
And we're giving away 2 of them. One thing to note that we found out earlier this week, you cannot preload those digital deluxe editions of the game if you win them. That's unfortunate, but you're still getting a $100 game. I think it's a fair trade-off. So at 2:50 p.m., you want to make sure you are in the chat. At 2:50, we give away the keyword. Type in the keyword once into the chat stream, and you will automatically enter into the sweepstakes. At 3 o'clock, we start running the sweepstakes. We give away 10 things, and then we'll probably run the developer tournament afterwards. So this stream's about franchise mode. So let's bring up the franchise mode feature slide. Joining me today is Luis Martinez, Nick Livingston. So what we got here? What we got?
So I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I'll just mention the general kind of things we'll go over. Player morale.
All right.
Is big. It's new this year. We've got player contracts and contract interest, and kind of morale also plays in a different way to contracts. So we've got that. The big one people are happy about, stat tracking. We've got career stats for pretty much all the basic stats you would want, and some of the more recognizable advanced stats too.
Yep.
We added WAR. People know about that, but if you didn't, we added WAR with our own special sauce. We'll go over it later on.
Ooh, WAR.
And we've got some other improvements to the budgets, to scouting, to GM goals. So yeah, that's.
All right, so
should we
let's
dive
do
in?
it.
Or?
So Luis is going to grab the controller. Online franchise. People ask about it. Unfortunately, none of these features are an online franchise. But all of the online gameplay stability that we did and the score poster, we fixed that.
Rewrote that.
Basically rewrote that. So those are the improvements to online franchise. So let's go.
Let's go.
So you have a save file here.
I have a save file, but I did want to mention that year-to-year saves.
Year-to-year saves is
still in
back
there.
in again.
Still
and remember,
in there.
you can't skip years, so it has to be an MLB 15 show save file.
Right. So I've got 3 save files. Let's go to the first one. This is at the beginning of the 2016 season. So let's dive into player morale. So basically, I'm gonna go to our cover boy, Josh Donaldson, right here. So just a little explanation of how it works. So as you can see on the screen, we've got 7 categories.
All right.
And then that's on the left. And then you can see the player's expectation for each category, his current status, and then how happy or how unhappy he is with each
He's got a little frown on his
Smiley
face.
face.
He's got a little frown. He wants a bigger deal.
He wants more money.
He wants to get paid.
But it's okay. He's satisfied because he's happy with everything else.
Right.
He's healthy.
Right.
His individual performance is up to par.
Well, right now that we haven't started playing games, but you know.
Oh, so that's gonna go down, or it goes up.
It
We'll
could go either way. So on the right side, you'll see the overall kind of morale. So on the left, you see the individual categories, but then on the right, you see overall, and you can see how it affects the player's attributes.
Okay.
So it affects only the mental attributes, so to speak, not the physical ones. So arm strength, velocity, speed, not affected.
Not affected.
But K per 9, walk per 9, contact, vision, discipline, those things are affected. So All right, so let's look at each category individually.
Yeah.
So let's go to the lineup screen. Lineups are basically what's going to set the player role expectation or morale for position players, right?
Yeah.
So Josh Donaldson, he is a star, expected star, and status is a star, right? But let's say, you know, we were to move him down to
to the
the
nine
nine
hole.
hole.
That's disrespect.
That's disrespectful.
So how would Josh Donaldson
He'd be
react?
He's not happy
He
about
ain't
it.
happy.
He is not happy. He's still an everyday player, but he is not happy.
Because we're not meeting his expectation.
Right. And so if you see the overall morale on the right,
Took
he
some
went
hits.
That
So
would
he
be
took a
amazing.
hit. What attributes take hits?
Well, you just said.
Yeah, so I mentioned contact, power, vision, discipline, clutch, arm accuracy, because that could be a mental attribute to some
Okay,
degree.
I got you. All right.
And then for pitchers, the per nines, like I mentioned. So the good thing, though, is that players have short memories. So,
As in like 2 seconds.
right, so you if you set him back, don't worry about pissing him off.
Yeah, we were just
And he's
messing.
happy.
So,
He's
yeah.
happy.
We were just messing around. Come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah, but you know, you got to be careful. If you have too many stars on your team, then some of them are not going to be satisfied because you only have. So the star expectation, you need to put those guys at the 3, 4,
And
or
5
leadoff
spot.
spot. Leadoff spot. So there's only 3 spots. So you got to play around with that and keep that into consideration. So let's look at the next category. Let's look at contract. So a guy that got an extension last year.
Player rating still in flux. These aren't final.
These are not final.
Nice.
So if you guys remember, last year Christian Yelich got an extension, right? So he got signed for I guess 7 years because he got signed last year. So he is happy about his contract.
Very happy.
He's only got 2 years of service time, so he's only expecting $2.5 million, but he's getting more because he got signed to that long-term deal, right? So he's happy. Now, who recently? There was an article about someone who was kind of unhappy about. his contract.
Unhappy about, yeah.
So
Mr. Garrett Cole.
we saw Garrett Cole, right? So Garrett Cole, his expectation, he
He's
wants
pissed.
to. So that 4.8 million that you're seeing there, that's kind of like what a long-term deal for him, buying out his remaining renewable and arbitration years would look like.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to give him that type of deal
Yeah.
to keep him happy.
It's awesome.
So let's see what's next. Coaching. So we added coach attributes, or no, I'm sorry, the attributes were always there, but we added a letter grade to make it
and
easier.
they work now.
Right, to make it easier to see how coaches are doing, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to let's go to Bud Norris. So he's got a top tier expectation for coaching, right? He's expecting top tier coaching. Disappointed
Yeah.
in his current
He's not
status.
happy.
Not happy. So one of the best managers in the league, Mike Scioscia.
Yeah.
What does Yunel Escobar think of his coaching? He's got the top tier
he's happy.
expectation. He's really happy. He's got an A.
He got
stats.
a little wink.
Right.
He got a
right.
little wink.
Super happy.
Now,
Super happy.
this leads us to the next category, though, region. So region works in 2 ways. So for U.S.-born players, region works in terms of hometown. So a player who's from California who has that expectation is going to want to play in the California teams. Now for international players, region works by having compatriots on your team. So player from Venezuela, if there's other players from Venezuela on that team, his morale is gonna get a boost, right? So let's look at an example of that. Detroit, right? K-Rod, new signing for them. He's got 6 compatriots, so
Nice.
he is ecstatic. We call it.
Yeah.
He's happy.
He's happy. All right, so let's look at let's take a little. I know we had 3 more categories there, but we need to look at the end of the season to kind of analyze those. So let's just go into scouting. Let's just go into scouting. Oh, tutorial, Matt, one of your tutorials. All right. Oh, let me sim a few days here. So some of the improvements we made to scouting.
Ooh, scouting.
So you had been asking for this for how long?
Oh
Ramon?
my God! I've been trying to get this in, like, and I only got in half of the design. There's another part of this design which I didn't get in.
Right,
Which
right.
I'm Going to try to get it in next year. This is only the first part.
This
Always
is the first
improving.
part. Right. So we've got accuracy. We had accuracy in the past, but now it's color coded. It's more explicit. But I guess the most important thing is we added the 20/80 scale, right? So in the table you'll see everything in increments of 5 and on the 20/80 scale. And we added pretty much every attribute that a player has.
Yep.
Before we used to have the tools. So now we have every attribute.
And if you, for those of you who don't know, the 20/80 scale, that is the scale that real scouts use to grade players. Like if you went to MLB.com and you looked at the top 100 prospects, you'd see a little line there under the prospects. It would have power, glove, speed, and you'd see a number from 20 to 80, and that's where that comes from.
Right.
Yep.
So let's look at a player card for an
We've
individual
improved
player.
the player card in scouting
Yeah.
too.
So
Got
you can-
everything here.
Right, and you can see on the left, that number on the left for each attribute, that's his current value, and then projected value. And you can see that over in the top right too, overall and potential.
And now we're showing
But
you
if-
hitter tendencies and the hot zone and cold zone there as well.
Right. So those are some of the improvements we made to scouting. We mentioned GM goals too.
We have more GM goals.
We've got more
How
GM
many
goals.
more GM goals do we have?
We've got about 30. So last year we only had GM rating, and kind of your ownership expectations and the job offers you would get, and pretty much everything was just tied to GM rating. We've added a second sort of metric, that's job security. So you could do well and accomplish goals, have your GM rating go up, but if you don't meet your ownership's expectations, you might, be looking for a new team.
That happened to me last night.
Right. So, but since your GM rating is good, you'll get good offers.
And that's
from
what happened. I
teams.
was using the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, exactly.
I spent 3 years rebuilding that roster. Roster looked good, didn't it, Luis?
It looked pretty good.
But because
I mean,
I
it was
win, it was better than it is now. Like
On the up
we
and
weren't
up.
winning the World Series, but we were like a year away from competing. They was like, no, Ramon, that's not good enough. But I got an offer from the New York Mets
Right, so you
and the
went to the
Toronto
Mets.
Blue Jays, so it worked out.
There you go.
So those are some of the goals we've added. So let's dive back to player morale. The 3 categories that we left kind of pending there. So we're gonna load up our end of 2016 file.
2016. Remember, Year Saves return, Road to the Show and franchise, still there. Can't skip years though.
Right. So okay. So let's look at we're gonna look at the team performance expectation, right? So Robinson Cano. Let's look at him.
He ain't happy.
He's got a team performance expectation of contender. As you can see, the Mariners went 68 and 94, didn't make the playoffs or anything, so
He's pissed.
disappointed in that. So it can go both ways though, of course. Who did well? The Astros, right? So let's look at the Astros.
Hot.
Woo,
They're hot.
Somebody's happy. They're hot.
Yeah. There you go.
Everybody's
Yeah.
happy. Oh, he's unhappy.
Contract.
Happy.
He's
about
gonna
his
be
contract.
wanting
He's got
him.
no
Yep.
compatriots on his team,
Right. That's another thing. So yeah, just showing you a little bit of.
which is actually a real big thing in real life, which I found out over the
Right.
last years talking to MLB guys. That's
Right.
huge.
Right. All right, let's go to the next category, individual performance. Pretty important, right? Some might think it's the most
Yeah.
important category. So let's look at Felix, right? He's got an all-star level expectation. He's meeting it, so he's satisfied. How about Iwakuma though? All-star level, and he's below. So he's a little bit unhappy about that. Let's look at his numbers. He's got a 4.30 ERA, not quite as good as what he's done in the past. So, you can look at stats and compare. So that's basically what is taken into account in individual performance. Last category.
Ratings aren't final.
Yep. Last category. Let's go to the Mets. And I'm not trying to pick on Harvey, but in this sim, he got injured. He had a season-ending injury again. So, as you can see, he has a season-ending injury. So he's pissed off about that.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for morale as it pertains to the regular season. Let's look at some stats and progression now. This is the end of the season, so we've got a season's worth of stats. I think people are going to like this screen. So we're going into
And this is the radio
team selection.
team
Oh
select.
yeah, yeah, that's
radio
right. I
wheel.
forgot to mention it.
So if you hit R2, is it twice or 3 times?
No, you hold it.
Oh,
You
you just hold it.
You hold it. So you hold it. R-stick. Go around the world.
Around the
Choose
world.
whatever you
So-
Around
want.
the world.
We've added
the
a
world.
league-wide tab in this screen.
What? That's new?
Yeah, so you go to the Giants there at the end of the list. You go one over. This is the MLB. This is league-wide, right? So you can look at Encarnacion, home run leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's so 667 for Brentley. That's because he didn't have too many at bats. That's why he's leading there. But you know, you can look at the counting stats and see the leaderboards.
Yeah.
So another cool thing is you can flip over to career stats.
Oh, career.
So
Alex hit a home run today in
A-Rod.
spring training.
Nice.
A-Rod, current hits leader, active hits leader, and before we used to have position players and pitchers only. Now we have starters, relievers, closers, catchers. So each category. So you can
Very cool.
look at
Very cool, Luis.
look it up.
Those.
Yep. All right. So this our stats kind of Nick, you've always been pushing for stats to kind of push progression, right?
Yep.
And we've had that in the past, but we really took it to a new level this year. So if we go back to the season stats, let's just toggle over here. Oh, here's some of the advanced stats that we've got.
Nice.
I see that WAR. What is WAR, Luis? What
Wins
is
above
that?
replacement.
All right.
We've got walk percentage, K percentage. Those are pretty important. I mean, they're not hard to calculate, but they're pretty important. Isolated power, bats per homer. We got stolen base runs.
Luis, I've seen a couple people ask, what WAR function are we using?
Oh yeah, so I mentioned we're using our own special sauce.
Yeah.
Special
So,
sauce.
We
$1,000.
use kind of the standard positional adjustments. So obviously catchers, shortstops, they'll get more of a boost because they play the harder positions. And then first basemen, left fielders, they'll get the biggest penalty for playing the easiest to field position.
Yeah.
Nothing's easy in the MLB.
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing easy.
And then we factor in base running, we factor in fielding, and we factor in hitting and pitching, of course. For pitching WAR, it's basically just pitching, you know, like how they did pitching.
Yeah.
So, oh, and there's obviously some, just like there's a positional adjustment for position players. For pitchers, there's some adjustments for whether you're a reliever or a closer or a starter. So
Very cool.
let's look at these are the leaderboards for average versus lefties, right? So, oh, I'm in first baseman. Let me go to all position players. So I want to show you progression, a little bit about progression. So let's sort by average versus lefties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your guy. This is your guy, Nick. Avisail Garcia, right?
Yep.
So this is a cool example of how a guy, he hit 132 versus lefties, right? So let's look at his progression. He went down 10 points versus lefties. Now, in the past, pretty much everything was in line. Progression across all attributes was in line. If you look at this, he's a young guy, he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
He's on the up and up in pretty much everything, but contact versus left took a hit.
Took a hit.
So that adds some dynamic kind of
Granularity.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
need him. We
Right.
need him to hit against lefties.
Yes, yes, you need him. So that's an example of a guy who went down, who went up. So if we sort by average versus lefties, look at a guy like Brock Holt. So,
Ooh,
so
got
plus,
that +9.
plus 9,
Savage life.
hit 358 versus lefties that 1 year. So same sort of deal. He's a young player. He's progressing upwards. Oh, the arrow. Notice the arrow over
Chevrons.
there by the chevrons in the attributes, and then overall in potential also have arrows.
Yeah.
That's new.
Very cool.
So that's a little bit about progression. So let's see, what's next?
So much.
Chevron.
All right. So let's. I saw someone at the beginning of the stream asking, "Who are your World Series favorites
Yeah.
for this year?" So
White Sox, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
let's
but-
be real.
let's
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
let's simulate 2016. This is what happened in the 2016 simulated season. This is the
With non-finished
bracket.
ratings.
With non-finished ratings, yes. But it looks, I mean, it looks pretty good. there.
Pittsburgh back in Washington.
So let's see who wins. Soon, day by day. Pirates won the wild card. Red Sox won
Red
the
Sox.
wild card.
All right.
So team field of 8 is set.
Some similar teams.
Oh, come on, Toronto.
from
Blue
last
Jays
year.
back to the ALCS. Dodgers.
Dodgers.
There we go. Kyle.
Kyle's clapping.
Kyle's clapping.
Astros and Mets. So it looks pretty similar to last year.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. Dodgers.
Oh.
Astros.
Astros.
Here we go.
Astros.
All right.
Dodgers Astros. Let's see. And the Dodgers.
Finally.
Series.
Kyle, get out. Kyle,
Come
you need
on,
to leave.
Kyle.
Kyle, you
Now,
need to leave.
I must say, I set this up. I hacked it in so the Dodgers. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So let's look at.
Off-season. Is that where we're going? We're going to off-season?
We're gonna look at the budget screen
Oh, all
first.
right.
So let's look at the budget screen. It's a whole new screen. We've got, just like we had 7 categories for morale, we've got, I think it's, 9 categories for budget.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got team revenue, that makes up the most of the money you'll see coming into your team. Purchase funds, sponsorships, postseason bonus. So if you see the Dodgers right there, Dodgers just won the World Series, so they got a big bonus. There's a zoom in button, so that's what I just did right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, the 10 million is kind of small compared to just the team revenue,
Yeah.
but if you zoom in, you can see some sort of differences between the lower graphs, or the smaller graphs.
Very cool.
Let's look at the one of the 2 new things we added from real life, which is the luxury tax.
Yep.
So the Giants came out paying some money in the competitive balance tax.
Yep.
So basically, if you look at the bottom of the screen too, we have a threshold there. So the rule works that if you go past the threshold, some percentage of how much you go past it by will be, you'll have to pay out, right?
Yeah.
Revenue sharing. So the top 15 and the bottom 15 teams in the league, or everyone puts their money in a pool, and then the bottom 15 teams get money back, and then the top 15 teams pay it out, right? So the Padres, they end up getting money
Yeah.
in revenue sharing, while the Giants pay out. So this kind of goes in line with market size and all that. And then on the right, you see the traditional salaries, right? Player salaries, coach salaries, scout salaries.
Cool.
Now, another thing we added is the future budget screen, right? So this future budget screen shows your 2016 payroll,
Yeah.
but then all the way up to 2020. So you can see all your commitments all the way up to 2020,
Love it.
right? So the Giants have a lot of money committed in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
What do you-
Back-end loaded contract.
Right. Padres? No money.
No money.
No money
Is
committed.
Lance
Not
in here?
committed.
Where's Lance?
Doesn't mean they don't have money. They just don't have money committed to
Yep.
2020.
Yeah, we don't
right?
like signing people in long term.
Anything can happen with the
So,
Padres.
yeah.
Right, 2020.
So let's look at how this can be useful, right? You can go to let's say the Orioles. Okay, when is Manny Machado going to hit free agency?
Yeah.
And that's 2018. right?
Arbitration year in 2017.
Right. Let's go to someone like this guy right here, Bryce Harper.
He's
Yeah.
going to be expensive.
When is he going to
Yeah.
be a free agent?
He's going to be
2018.
very
2018. Is there a pattern here?
There is a big pattern.
When is Jose Fernandez going to be a free agent?
2018.
So let's go to 2018.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big free agent year.
Yep.
Yes.
They're talking about it already. So we've got a 2018 save file.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So who made it to free agency? Because that's another consideration. These guys could get signed before
Yeah.
2018, right? If we go to managed contracts, Goldschmidt made it, Harper
Harper.
made it, Fernandez made it, Harvey made it, but
It's a
Machado.
very top-loaded class. He got
Yeah.
signed.
Machado was
got
absent.
extended.
Machado
so,
got his money.
so let's look at what happened with Machado. Yep, he got his
He
money
got his
He
money.
got his money.
before.
A lot of it.
Right. So that happens. The CPU does that. You can do that too. Before, just to kind of take advantage of buying out a guy's arbitration and renewable years, right? And not wait until he becomes a free agent.
Happens a lot.
Right. So, since we're in the off season, let's look at the contract interest logic, right? Oh, sorry, wrong screen. So let's look at Andrew Miller. All right, Andrew Miller. We go in, we try to make an offer to him. So on the right side, you can see there's 4 categories for contract interest. In Morale, we had 7. There's 4 when you're trying to sign a guy. And so we also added updates in real time contract interest bar. You can see I'm increasing the terms right here. Oh, and it changes color too.
I love that.
You can increase terms. Then we also added a role, right? So Andrew Miller is expecting to be the closer. That's what we're offering.
Oh, not so much. No happy.
Yeah, if we put him in the bullpen, contract interest
Still
goes down.
It's got a chunk of interest though.
Chunk of interest, yeah. But this year, you have to pretty much be the highest bidder, or have the highest contract interest in a guy. Not necessarily the highest bidder, but the highest contract interest. Because a lot of the randomness that we had in the past that people complain about, it's only going to be somewhat random when the interests are so close together that it's hard to tell apart.
Yeah.
But if you blow another team's offer out of the water, then it's going to be pretty deterministic. So let me show you the difference that the morale for interest can make. So we're offering Miller 7 years, $28 million. But he wants to play close to home, and he's from Florida. And he wants to play for a contender, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the A's, he's unhappy about those things with the A's. What happens if the Marlins, say, offer him a deal? So see, did you notice the contract interest? It's almost maxed out for the same 7 year or $7
He wants to stay
million
in sunny
deal.
Miami.
Right.
Can't blame him.
So that's kind of it adds a layer of depth, but you can still but it's not going to be impossible to sign the guy if he is unhappy about those things, but it's just going to be harder.
Pay the man.
You just got to pay him more money.
So how do we do that? We go back to the A's, give him more years. We give him a player option. We like that. And then just jack
And the player
up,
option
jack it up.
is, so since you have player, that's 5 years with the last year being a player option,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct. The last year of that 6-year deal will be a player
Will be the
option.
player option.
Right. You can also have a club option, but
He don't like that.
he won't like that too much.
Seeing that a lot in new contracts this year.
Right. So let's look at Goldschmidt here, for example. Role. So when offering him a role, he wants the star role, which means third place hitter, cleanup guy. If you offer him an everyday job, which is, that's the thing I mentioned at the beginning.
Lineup.
Right. You have to balance how many stars you have on your team. Otherwise, as we saw with Donaldson, he went down from a 96 to a 92.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a layer of depth to managing.
Since we're on the contract string, I saw Millennium had a question. In-season contract extensions.
Not this year. Not this year. We want to do it, but not this year.
Yeah, we looked at, there were only 8 this year, I believe about 10 or 12 last year.
There's
So
not too many guys, yeah.
Not too many guys that happened to, so
Right.
that gets kicked down the road for maybe next year.
Yeah. We have a short cycle here, so it's not an excuse, but there's only so much you can do in each 9 to 10 month cycle.
We got a lot.
Yeah. One minor detail, but we used to only show career stats in the off season. See in the top left, those are last year's stats now. We can do that now with all the career stats that we've added. So you can see how just exactly what he's being kind of graded on.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for contracts.
Contracts. Anything else you want to talk about? Logic changes. I know there was some player generation logic changes.
Yeah. So
Can we see who signs these guys?
oh yeah, that's right. yeah. I almost forgot about that.
Dodgers.
So let's sim.
Let's go White Sox. Make a move.
So Andrew Miller signed with the Cubs.
Boo.
White Sox.
Okay.
All right.
Signed
Somebody's
Britain.
Britain. Nick's happy.
Yep.
I mean, that's just strategic move. They're not done yet though.
Patrick Corbin left Arizona.
So, yeah, I didn't mention this, but this is the new blockbuster signing or blockbuster trade or big free agent signing screen.
Very cool.
So, it kind of keeps you connected to the league instead of it just being sort of a selection box or you having to go to transactions to seek
Very
out that
cool.
information. AJ
All
Pollock,
right.
another guy who's on the
Infielder.
open,
Tigers.
went to Detroit.
It's a good deal.
There's a trade right there. Ooh,
Nice.
Britain just got trade.
Yes.
So
it
a
was like
sign and
nice
trade.
sign and trade.
Making moves.
Harper went
There
to
we
the
go.
Dodgers.
No, come
Dodgers.
on.
It's the Dodgers.
Get out
the
of here.
Dodgers stream.
Harper's fishing for a World Series.
Yep.
Only in a video game.
Goldie, where did Goldie go?
Whoa.
We missed
Oh.
Goldie.
Yeah, we missed
Goldie.
Goldie. Let's
Where did
go.
Goldie go?
Goldie right there. Sign. Let's
He
see.
got paid. Goldie got paid.
This is the transaction screen.
Yeah, this is the full summary of all of them.
There he is. Rangers. So he went to the Rangers. 7-year, $217 million
Nice.
We'll get traded to the Yankees next year.
deal. Yep. So, yeah, do we want to go into a game now?
Yeah.
Or-
Is it time for want to go into a franchise game or tourney? Is it tournament
So
time?
I know that Matt wanted to show the Philly Stadium.
Philly Stadium.
So why don't we do that?
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy.
Look at that, Matt.
Gonna show Philly.
All right. So
Do coaching attributes improve or go down over time in franchise mode, or do they stay the same?
I think they're static.
And as we mentioned in the beginning of the stream, none of the new franchise changes made it online. There's only so much we can do in a cycle, and both those modes use completely different code bases. So the online programmer and the offline franchise programmer is the same guy. He only has 7 months to work. So we looked at the numbers. 45,000 people played online franchise. Over 500,000 people played offline franchise. So naturally, offline franchise got the development love.
I see a question here asking if the blockbuster trade, sign or trade screen is in PS3.
It is.
Cool.
It is.
Hot.
All right.
All right.
So let's just.
So this is what year is this that we're going into? I saw you
This is just
reloading.
the beginning.
Beginning of this year.
Hitting
Yeah.
400.
Right.
Yep. You want to do the honors?
Sure. Get warm. Let me get warm for this tournament later. Ramon's gonna have to
Who's going first in the what round are we in, Shafe?
quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals?
So me and you, I think.
Are we gonna go first? I think
don't
we
know.
should save
You wanna
that
get a break?
that for the last game.
We could make
of the
so
stream.
it's gonna be
Bill and them Toronto Blue Jays.
Bill and Lance.
Bill and
I
Lance.
think is one. Luis and Marcus.
Yep.
Ooh,
And,
The cheeser. Marcus is the cheeser.
Kyle and
is
Compton.
Lance in here? Is Lance in
Yeah.
here?
You rearing to go,
You
Lance?
and Bill first. All right, go and get him. Any
You-
3-team trades?
No team trades. I wanted to. So someone mentioned, or you mentioned, player generation
Yeah.
changes. So we just refined the way the physical attributes are generated and
Okay.
how they progress too. So speed, you're going to see some like 95, 99 speed.
Because that doesn't generate anymore. It doesn't go up and down.
Right. It actually only goes down now with time. So and then the same thing with velocity. So those are some of the, just in general, some of the changes that we made.
Ball boy filling his position. Can you edit coaches?
Whoa.
No editing
No,
coaches.
not this year. New trade logic. Changes of trade logic.
Yes. So we made some changes there. We made it so that the sort of 90-plus rated guys, the real superstars in the league, are.
Whoops.
It's more unlikely
Oh,
that they'll
man,
be
I blew
traded.
it. I play with analog throwing typically.
Yeah, whatever.
He's
You gonna challenge
it? That didn't look like played a challenge, to be honest. I think.
Anyway,
it
keep
was-
going, Luis.
Yeah.
Talk
So
about these
so
widgets.
some of those trades that involve the very best players in the league are now harder. Like they happen less frequently and they're harder to pull off, basically. And so, a couple of other like smaller refinements. But yeah,
It's like, no, I don't want to do it. Like you made me walk out here for nothing. It's like, you walked all the way out here.
Well, it's still bull, man. Even though we're
Shaking
not
his head,
challenging,
like,
it's still
"Man,
bull.
slap the shit if you do it
I
again.
like those shoes he's got right there.
Oh, new those are Harachis.
Uh-oh.
That's a
Get lit
problem.
up. Play it off the wall. Let's go.
No, you can't trade
Getting
cash.
murked.
No 3-team trades.
That's what happens. You make an error.
Yeah, we actually updated our prospects' appearance a little. They should look a little bit better.
Yikes, man.
Mo, someone wants to know if you're wearing baseball
Terrible.
pants.
I actually am, yes.
No.
The San Diego Padres sent me this. Marcus, so we're doing Marcus and who? Marcus and Luis. Uh-oh.
Is that the first
It's
game?
going
Oh,
down.
you're gonna put Luis on the spot like
Marcus
that, huh?
and Luis.
I think I need to go to the bathroom.
All right, we're
first.
going to knock it out. Do you?
Come on, no, I don't have
Why
to.
don't we?
go.
Well, yeah. All right. We could try to make Compton and Kyle play too.
We're we coming up on
Compton,
the
Kyle.
sweepstakes.
Not yet. We got some minutes, so we'll let Nick continue to make a fool of himself. Oh, I see. Will the All-Star patches be removed from the San Diego Padres uniforms in year 2? No, they will not. Our uniform sizes,
Oh my!
the files are pretty big, and we don't really patch uniforms.
That's a good pitch.
So no,
too.
we can't remove those patches because we have to recut all of the uniforms.
Hey, don't you worry, guys. You guys betting on me for the tournament. I'm gonna be using different interfaces. I'm just fooling around.
Is there
Look at
anything
this.
to
What a
recognize
joke.
a World Series champion? I don't know. We have to ask Clayton. Is Clayton here? He's not back there? He is not. What's the keyword? We're giving it away at 2:50 p.m.
Not just yet.
Not just yet.
We discussed the keyword for a good 15 minutes today.
Yeah, we did. Like, what's the keyword going to be today? Oh, Marcus is here. Is player regression fixed? Was it broken last year?
Compton's here too.
Player regression?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, older players will regress. Like we're not getting rid of that. If you're 40 years old or if you're 39 years old,
You should start to
you're going to regress. Now, as you saw during the stream, like with Abisail Garcia and Brock Holt, their contacts went up significantly. So those older players can also have those sort of years. And so that will slow down their regression since we pushed up, performance-based.
That's right, because the
progression.
younger guys, when the
But
younger
they're-
guys progress, we have
yeah.
to have the older guys regress, or
But
the
they're
game
gonna
just breaks.
they're gonna regress, but it'll be slowed down to some extent.
Are you down to play, or do you want to try to make Kyle and Compton play?
Kyle,
I
is
can-
Kyle and Compton here?
I can play.
Yeah.
You ready?
I can play.
Luis is ready. Is Marcus ready?
He's ready.
Marcus is ready. All right.
All right.
Luis ready. Marcus ready.
Is it gonna be 9 innings?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Quick.
Go
counts.
ahead.
All right, Marcus.
Do you want to do quick? You don't have to.
You ready?
No.
Let's go. We'll bring him on.
All right. Turn
The
us,
infamous-
Turn us off because
Probably-
Marcus.
Do we have to mic him up?
Probably should be quick counts.
We can mic him up if you want to.
Don't mic him up.
Don't mic him up. Do you want to be mic'd up, Marcus?
I don't.
Can we trust you? Wait, because we're still showing the couch.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. You come on. Cut the feed.
Marcus. Have you ever been on the stream?
Never been.
Never been, huh?
Still hasn't been. So let me be careful here not to show. Bam, bam, offline.